All right, good afternoon. It is currently Thursday, September 30th, 12:01 Eastern Standard Time. Markets are just holding. What's the news that came out today? So basically, today it's really all about is the deal going to get done today? Is the expect going to drop? Are we at the bottom? As you can tell by the market action so far, it's been just holding steady. But basically, this last half hour, the market had a little bit of a reaction. So S&P is lower. So let's dive in. Um, what's on the horizon here? So I'm not really seeing bounces. We're at critical moments here that we should see bounces, but we're not seeing bounces. So more than likely, as the SPX basically try to break above this level here of 43.86. So a good rule of thumb, basically, if you're setting up your bullish trades, is look across the indices here, and you want to make sure that we need to take out the prior day's highs, which we did not on any of the indices. So your stock is not going to go up if the markets are not breaking their highs. So perfect example of that would be Netflix and ISRG try to go. But let's dive into that. So we're going to cover the same stocks as we did before, but basically, um, let's see if we can zoom in here. But we're seeing a nice entry on the bear side for the XPX, which worked out really nicely. The XPX, the VIX right now is at 23, heading higher. It was currently at 21 right in here. But basically, we try to go high. This 43.86, the MACDs was telling us that it was no go. We started seeing weakness. And as we're coming back towards the 50, we came back to the 50, and this would be an interest to go short. Obviously, if you got into those trades, it's working out really, really nicely. How low can we go? Basically, we're looking at a lot of levels here. So we broke this 43.46, 43.50 was the area. More likely, I probably think we're going to retest 43.06. So panic sell will settle in at some moment of time. And as you can see, we're selling. So same thing as the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is holding a little bit stronger, but it couldn't break the highs of yesterday, which is 149.9. Let's just round it out. We're coming to the lows here. It's holding stronger, so 14,724 than the XPX. The XPX looks like it wants to go lower. But the Nasdaq, I mean, we've had a pretty significant sell-off in the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq is holding here, even though we had a zero bounce up to 50. It's going to go, but if this gets taken out, we're probably going to go lower as well. So overall, it is in alignment with how they're trading, both trading lower. Uh, Russell, Russell, again, we were off from the 50. And again, we had numerous trades here. We couldn't break above 23.39. And we're holding the 50 as resistance. So again, today we try to come up, couldn't break it, right? Couldn't break that. Couldn't came back, and this was an entry here if you wanted to go take it to the downside. I did take this trade, but today's been a waiting game. It's just I was hoping we will get a bounce. If we don't get it, but always trade what the indices are giving you. Now, let's dive in. So now we have the market posture. It's telling us everything's going. There goes the XPX. But basically, let's look into Alphabet. Alphabet, again, we're holding that. We're right below the 200-day on Google. We're right below the 200-day moving average is at 33.11. And Google is sitting right now at 26.91. So that is bearish on Google. If we turn around, I think Google will be the first one to go, but they are selling Google. The techs are getting sold off. So it's clearly you can see every time we come up, we're being sold off. So the Google had this high here the day before, 27.54, and it couldn't break above the 50 days. So the 50-day right now is sitting at 27.01. So it's being sold off. Let it sell off. We're headed to 50. It looks like there's some demand right in here, but it looks like it's probably going to be taken out. So, but keep Google on a watch. If we turn around by chance, Google will probably be the first one to go, but we need to take out some highs for that to happen. So let the indices tell you which way to trade. But let's see what happens here on Google. As far as Amazon, Amazon is no, sorry, Amazon is. Let me rephrase that. Google is just broke the 50-day moving average, and that was at 2708, right? Amazon, it's at the 200-day average, which is at 3311. As you can tell, it's selling off. So they're selling Amazon. Okay, so uh, Amazon again, we needed this 3351 the day before. Today it tried to go, couldn't go. They're selling it off and they're just driving back. So again, this is the level here, 3300. So again, this is a time to enter in a short trade on Amazon right off this 3317, right in there, bouncing off the 50 and bouncing off the zero line going downward. So there it goes. It's not, that's a pretty significant level, and the 200-day moving average is pretty significant on the daily. So again, just trade the market action. Tesla, it's holding, right? I don't know how far it's going to hold. Tesla was supposed to release numbers today. I don't think they're going to release numbers today. So it's more likely maybe tomorrow, right? But it is holding. We do know that Kathy Wood and and Shamath are selling Tesla stock, but I mean it's end of quarter, so they have to sell their stock if they have to hold a certain percentage of their equities in their portfolios. So if their stock has gone up, so they probably have to sell to fulfill that obligation of percentage requirements. So, but Tesla is holding, but it's having a hard time breaking above 790. But it is holding. It's just not doing anything. So if you're in an option trade and you have expiration for this week, just probably sit back and wait, or just it's real short-term trades. But if I were to zoom in here, it is holding despite that the overall indices are declining. So if these turn around, eventually they will. Tomorrow's a new quarter, Q4. Tesla's probably going to be the one to look for a reversal, but just keep that in mind. All right, ISRG, huge sell-off here. ISRG, I alerted this one this morning because it seemed very powerful. We're above zero, which is great. It's the only one above zero so far, with the exception of Tesla, which is bullish. So we had a run up from 997. I said the alert, we need to take out this 107, 104, then 107 to get it going. 107 we couldn't hold. It tried to, but with the overall market turning around, again, it's going to be very difficult for any stock to go up if you see these going down. So basically, what are we looking at here? We're looking at to see if the market reverses, we're going to see these things possibly reverse. But other than that, it is holding. It's selling off. Let's see if it holds at 50. If it breaks down to 50, it's probably going to test these lows here. I don't think it's going to go this far low, but it's probably going to stay in this realm here because it had a significant sell-off. Chipotle, they're taking it down. This tried to go this morning, but once again, knowing the prior highs helps because it really needed that to get going. But we had a bounce off the 50, just didn't get the bounce off the MACDs. I thought we would get that, but it didn't quite come to fruition. And then we sold off. So we got the zero bounce to the other side, and we're going down. Remember, Chipotle's been in a downward trend, short term, right, on the 15-minute chart. We thought we would get a reversal sign, but we're not. It is trying to hold here, but it is going lower. You got to trade them how you see them. Again, if these go lower, this is not going to go higher. So just as ISRG is not. And even Netflix, if we look at Netflix hit an all-time high of 619, I believe. And right now it's sitting at, 610. So we had a 9-point sell-off. Yeah, so let me show you Netflix real quick. So Netflix this morning tried to go, right? It still looks bullish. Again, this is one I will probably keep my eye on. It's still above the 50, but you got to trade them real quick. So it went from 604 this morning all the way up to 620. But again, it's not going to go higher unless the overall market turns. So, this one keep an eye on. Actually, Netflix is the only FANG trading above the 50-day moving average on a daily. So keep that in mind. And we are overextended a little bit. So, but if the market turns around, this should be one of the ones to go. All right, guys, hang tight and go get it. Trade what you see. Um, let's see if they pass that bill today. I don't know if they're going to. And then this debt ceiling crisis, the market doesn't like it. Also, you have this Evergrande story lingering, so keep an eye on that. I don't know if the market's gonna be, it's gonna like that too much. The market's very temperamental right now, and also, I mean, these container story is out there. I mean, containers now have gone up from what $2,000 to what $40,000 per container. So supply demand issues are going to be a huge problem moving forward. So go get it. Trade receipt. There goes the SPX. XPX down to 33.18. Like I said, yes, you've been following. Probably going to go down to 4,300. And RUT is probably going to go down to 2,200. So, all right, guys, go get it, and we'll see you tomorrow.